Welcome back to Nowstalgia. Dave here with my reaction to the XXL Freshman 2023 list. The new XXL Freshman class is out, and got to get to it because, of course, I've been predicting who's going to be on the list. I've been doing this for about 7 years. I usually do pretty well with predictions, get about half, sometimes a bit more. Obviously, it's a bit challenging to do, I think, any more than that because hip-hop is so vast. There's so many great candidates. Of course, sometimes people decline to be on the list, etc., etc. Alas, we know who's going to be on the list for 2023, and I gotta say, I really like the list. I think it's one of the best in the past few years, but in general, they're always pretty good because there's just so much talent out there, you know? But I'll start with the people that I think made a lot of sense for the list and also happen to be the ones I picked, the ones I got correct. We'll start off, though, with two, I think, notable omissions, snubs. I wouldn't call them snubs because I think they declined. One of those, of course, would be Ice Spice, an obvious pick. It sounds like Ice Spice, due to scheduling conflicts, declined it. I actually hope that's the real reason, and that would suggest that she wanted to do it if she could. Obviously, Ice Spice has been so big with so many hits, so many real top chart, high-end chart toppers at this point that I wouldn't have been shocked if she just straight up didn't want to do it. But nonetheless, she's not here. Armani White also not here. Billie Eilish, big hit for him. He had a great album come out last month. I thought he was kind of a lock. I hope he declined. I hope he's not a snub because I would have liked to see him on here. That being said, the people that I thought should have been on the list that are here are Central C, GloRilla, Lola, Brooke, TiaCorine, Too Rare, and La Tyler. Those are the ones I picked. So that's like 6 out of 12. Pretty happy about that. Central C and GloRilla in particular were like total locks, and I'm happy they accepted. I was kind of worried they might decline. GloRilla, a classic example of someone who blew up right as the last list came out. Didn't make sense to make the list last time, but year comes back around. It's XXL time again. GloRilla has a Grammy nomination. Like, I would not have been shocked if she thought she was above this by now. But she's on there. That's great. Totally just. Shout out Memphis. Also, Central C, the first male UK rapper to make the list. Another one who very well could have made it last year, didn't make it. I actually suggested him in my video for 2022. Nonetheless, he doesn't get picked. Then Doja explodes, a real crossover hit in the United States, rare for a UK rapper. Would not have been shocked if Central C thought he was a bit too big for this now, but he's here, which is great. And I think that's an awesome look for him because he still has, I think, a lot of an audience that he can grow in the United States as a UK artist, obviously. So really happy about those two. And then Lola Brooke, I think that's a great pick. I didn't think she was a lock by any means. She doesn't have a whole lot of music out, but the Brooklyn rapper, don't play with it. It's absolutely huge. She's arguably among the hottest people in New York right now. So it's a great selection. Also, TiaCorine from North Carolina. Her song Freaky T is really big. I think that's a really solid pick because she's not quite as not quite as like popping on like a national stage. She's not quite as like mainstream. I think obviously the XXL list, and I got into this a lot with my predictions, the XXL list has a lot of label backing at this point now. It's hard for them to really pick a total unknown. You don't really see that anymore. But I think TiaCorine is a nice pick. She's not like super famous yet. The list probably will do a lot of good for her. La Tyler, that guy's a teenager. He's very new to being a rapper from Florida. And I mean, there's multiple pieces about him, like Stereo Gum and Pitchfork, and the common theme is that he's just like super swagged out. He's like super cool. People love him. Obviously, his song Backflippin' was a big hit, and he signed to Atlantic. So I think there's a big future ahead for La Tyler. And then the last one I picked was Too Rare, who it's a bit of an interesting pick, because Too Rare is really more of a producer than a rapper. Yeah, this is almost like if you picked Pierre Bourne a few years ago, but Too Rare I think is really significant because he's really kind of helped craft and lead that sound that we saw with Lil Uzi Vert's I Wanna Rock, one of the biggest rap songs of the last, 6 months or so, last year. That kind of like new rage music twist. Too Rare is kind of at the front of that. It's a really nice acknowledgement of that type of hip hop. It's a really, I think, inspired pick. Some people that I picked that didn't make the list, two of them really stand out to me. One would be Mike Dimes from Houston. I absolutely love him. I think he's tremendous. Really surprised he's not here. I hope it was a decline because it's a major snub if not. He's great. Kenny Mason was on the XXL website but didn't get picked. Kenny Mason's a bit older, had a case to make the list several times at this point, hasn't gotten picked still. A bit disappointing in terms of like a crossover multi-genre type rapper. Other people I picked who didn't make it: Cash Dami and B-Lovee. And then, of course, the people that did make it who I didn't select, that would be Finesse 2 Times from Memphis. His song Back End's Gold. He's got several projects out at this point. He's probably the most famous of this group I'm about to go through. He's got a lot of social media attention. Fridayy with 2 Ys from Philly. I actually like him a lot. He had a great feature on the Armani White album last month. But of course, he has 2 huge features, one of which would be on DJ Khaled's God Did. Of course, the least famous person on that song, but he was there. And also a big feature on the Little Baby album from last fall. He signed the Def Jam, kind of a more melodic rapper guy. I like him. This is a nice pick because I don't think he's super well known for his own solo songs just yet, but it's a nice, I think, way to catch the come up here. Also, we got Rob49 from New Orleans. He's got several projects out right now. Signed to Geffen Records, has a big feature on the Dirk album. Nice pick here. SleazyWorld Go from Michigan. Several projects out already. He's got his debut album coming this fall. Signed to Island. His big hit's probably Sleazy Flow, which has a Little Baby remix. Michigan, he's from Grand Rapids. He's not from Flint, but just acknowledging like the Detroit, Flint sub scene in the northern Midwest. Obviously super important given how hot and vibrant it still is there. Like, it's a great pick for sure. The next 2 kind of surprised me. Real Boss and Richey from Florida, who's got 2 tapes out, and DC the Don from Milwaukee, who's got a few projects out and was actually the 10-spot winner. Definitely would not have seen that coming. The fan vote pick. But in a sense, not super well-known artists, not that they have a ton of streams yet, but that's great for the list to pick people on the rise, pick people that will really benefit from this cosign, this light being shine on them. Obviously, with the advent of social media, the discoverability of TikTok, the ability to pursue a career without the major label system behind you, all that's so true. But the XXL list still has a place in terms of helping bring people to a wider audience. And I think in the case of guys like this, DC the Don, Real Boss and Richey, even people like Rob49, SleazyWorld Go, like those are guys that still have a lot of room to grow in their career, and this hopefully will help them along the way. But overall, XXL list, I think it's a good one. Once again, I think in terms of like forecasting ahead of 2024, the only one that really stands out to me is someone who's like popped up in this, this springtime when it was like 2023 list deciding time, would be Sexy Red. I think that one's kind of obvious. So let's hope that she gets picked next year and doesn't completely explode to the point where she says no. We'll see. But obviously, people know Pound Town at this point. So I think she's kind of leading the clubhouse for 2024, and not really sure who else is in the mix yet. I'm not sure if anyone's totally there yet, but we'll see. But let me know, how do you feel about the 2023 list? How would you compare to the past few years? Who are you looking forward to seeing on the 2024 list? And for more XXL freshman predictions, I do them every year, as well as rap reviews. Subscribe, and I'll see you next time.